What's going on, guys? It's Barry from the YANMAR Academy. Today we're talking daily maintenance on the SA series tractor. Alright guys, so the first check we're going to do is engine oil. In order to access the engine oil dipstick, you have to pop the hood. In order to pop the hood, there's a little latch right down here at the front. Just go ahead and slide it over and the hood will pop right up. Right here, you're looking for the little yellow thumb knob. We're going to go ahead and grab a rag. First thing you want to do, wipe around that oil dipstick. Make sure you don't transfer any dirt inside of that dipstick. Next, what you want to do is you want to pull out the oil dipstick. Go ahead and wipe it down with the rag. Make sure you got all the old oil out. Reinsert it. When you reinsert it, you want to make sure you get it seated all the way back down inside that tube. Pull it out again. Now we're going to make our check. On the dipstick, there's an upper line and a lower line. You want to make sure that the engine oil is in between those two lines. If it's above that upper line, you've got too much engine oil and you want to go ahead and drain some out. If it's below that lower line, you want to go ahead and add some because you don't have enough engine oil. If your engine oil is low, add it here. All right guys, so the next check, we're going to have to come to the back of the tractor. It is the transmission hydraulic oil check. To find this one, you have to go to the back of the tractor. Check the sight glass by the PTO shaft. What you want to look for is the hydraulic oil to be halfway into the sight glass. If it's above halfway, you've got too much hydraulic oil. Take a chance of blowing some seals. Go ahead and drain a little bit. If it's too low, you want to go ahead and add a little bit to get it to where it needs to be at. If your transmission oil is low, add it here. All right guys, next check is going to be the tractor coolant system. There's going to be a couple checks involved in this. First thing is going to be we're going to check the reservoir to make sure that there's a correct amount of fluid in the reservoir. We're going to check our radiator screen, the radiator itself to make sure none of the fins are clogged up, and then the final check, we will check the coolant hoses. All right guys, so when you check your coolant reservoir here, as you can see, you got a low mark and a full mark. You want to ensure that your coolant reservoir is at the full mark. This one here seems to be good, so we'll move on to the next check. So the next check is going to be our radiator screen. The purpose of the screen is to keep big dirt and debris off of the radiator itself to help and aid in cooling of the tractor. To get it out, all you're going to do is just grab a little tab here, pull it out. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to ensure that there's not a whole lot of stuff built up onto the screen. If there is, just go ahead and wipe it down or wash it down with some water, some compressed air. Make sure there's no tears in the screen itself. This one here appears to be good, so we'll go ahead and put it back in. All right guys, so our next check, we're going to check the radiator itself. We want to check to make sure it's not plugged up with any dirt or debris. If it is, then what we want to do is we want to blow water from the back side to the front or compressed air. Also, we want to check to make sure there's no leaks. Ours is good to go, so we'll move on to the next check. All right guys, so our next check, we want to check the lower radiator hose. We want to check to make sure there's no dry rotting in the hose, make sure there's no leaking, and then we want to make sure that the upper clamp and the lower clamp are both secure and tight. They seem to be good, so we'll move on to the upper radiator hose. All right guys, this time we're going to check this upper radiator hose. We're going to do the exact same check we did with the lower one. This one here seems to be good to go. All right guys, next check, we're going to check the battery. First thing we want to do is make sure the battery clamps are nice and tight and there's no corrosion on them. Then we want to check our battery cables, make sure there's no cracks and there's no breaks in it. Then what we want to do is we want to make sure the battery tie down is nice and tight. You don't want the battery bouncing around as you're traveling across the field. This one's good to go. Last check is going to be a tractor walk around. What we're looking for is any loose fittings or any leaks that we may have missed in the initial walk around. All right guys, there you have it. Quick, simple, easy checks, but checks that are very important if you want to keep your tractor in the fields for years to come. Until next time, I'll see you at the YANMAR Academy.